talk about the mesh tool, curtain wall tool, I should say. The mesh tool, we'll get into, it's not the easiest tool, but it can do a lot of things. Let's make a very quick example here. I'll draw in a mesh. We'll take a look at it in 3D. And it just looks like a piece of turf, if you will, a piece of ground. But we'll be able to later go in, and I'll give you an example of that right now. I'll just draw some splines across here. And you'll see where this is going in a second. And if we then select our mesh, we return back to the mesh tool, and I hold down the space bar, I can left click on my splines here and add points to them. And what that's going to allow me to do is, and we don't even need the splines after we're done because we've already added our points in there, is allow me to go back in here and change the height of these splines as they are in the mesh. So what I'll do is I'll make this one something very high, like 8 feet. And then, actually, what I want to do is say apply to all, 8 feet. And that's going to make all these points on the mesh to be 8 feet high. So if we go into 3D, you can see here, it's going to make all those points in the mesh 3D in 8 feet. We'll make these 4 feet. Go to 3D, you can see we're starting to change the topography of the ground, if you will. So we could be adding a mesh and a house on our mesh and then adding topographical lines to it. Curtain wall tool, there's just some simple settings here. We can just be drawing out, and we want to click the sun where the outside of the wall is going to be. And we've got some settings in here, but let's just say place. And that's going to add a curtain wall in our scene. Let me right click in here and say show all in 3D. And here's our curtain wall that we created over here. So there's a lot of options. We could select our curtain wall, go into its options, and play around with the geometry, the positioning of the curtain wall. And we've also got lots of things about construction, how we're putting our grids together for our curtain walls in here. There's many, many options with the mullions and transoms and things like that. And that's basically just an introduction of what the curtain wall and the mesh tool are.